Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be working on my Lexus is300. We're going to be doing a little how-to video on how to replace the radiator. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so first thing first, I'm going to show you what you're going to need for the whole process. So first down here, we have a floor jack and some jack stands. It's always better to have a lift, make it a lot easier. And then moving up here, we have the Toyota Red Long Life coolant. This is actually a concentrate, so you have to cut it with water, mix it 50-50 with water. So we have an empty coolant jug. The red coolant is actually for the older models, so like 90s to early 2000s, while the pink is actually for the brand new vehicles. And this is already pre-mixed. Next, you're going to need a coolant funnel. This is for like bleeding the system. It has like all the caps and everything, so when you turn it on, it doesn't like explode. And then we are actually going to be also replacing the upper and lower radiator hoses. It's always probably a good idea to get new clips, like new clamps, but I don't have any, so we're going to be using the old ones. And then to make life a little bit easier, I have my Milwaukee Surge M12 impact driver. That'll just make stuff go a little bit quicker. And then just need a couple of sockets like 10s and 12s, maybe a pair of pliers. And of course, you're going to need a new radiator. We actually got a Denso OEM replacement radiator. It's very, very similar to the radiator that comes with the car. And Denso actually makes a lot of the Toyota products. And I'll go ahead and link that radiator down below for you guys.
Okay guys, Cameron just popped the hood and we're going to be getting to jacking up the car. This is going to be the first step. So we showed these jack points previously in videos. I'll go over to the other side. He's doing the passenger side here. So the jack point, it's going to be a little hard to see, is kind of all crunched, but there's supposed to be basically two little notches that you're going to notice. This is like a thing on Toyotas and Lexuses, and that's where you're going to put your axle stand. So you're going to want to put the jack just behind that to jack up the car. So first he's just going to jack up both sides, and then we're going to show you the new radiator. Okay guys, Cameron just went in and grabbed the new radiator. As you can see, it's all shiny and the plastic's not super heat cycled and destroyed like this one. So,
And this one has a ginormous crack.
humongous crack. This one is the original radiator with over like what, 108,000 miles on it or something.
Yeah, 184,000.
So very old and almost 20 years old because this is a 2003. So yeah, this is what a new radiator looks like. And
there's the part number and everything.
And this is the top side, the one with the big coolant port facing out, as you guys can see, facing towards the engine like that. So that's the top side. So yeah, we're gonna get into popping this guy out, right?
Yeah, so the first step is you're going to want to drain it. As you can see on this one, it has this little white
like
coolant thing. You just kind of twist that open, righty or lefty loosey, and it'll start pouring out.
And that should be on this one too. That's just
on
all.
Pretty much the same. And then once it's all drained, we can go ahead and take off the coolant hoses. And for this one, we're actually going to take them all the way off, upper and lower, and then we can take off all these like upper clips and all the points connecting it to the frame, and then we can just pull it straight out. So we'll get started on that, and we'll show you how it's going, guys. So here's a little valve. I got it started. Might be a little tight, but as you can see, it's actually mostly water, which is not good.
That's just because his was leaking a lot and they were topping it off with water.
I did not. I topped it off with the actual proper coolant, but the dumbass that owned it did. So we're just gonna let that drain into this bucket, and then once it's done, we're gonna pull the radiator out.
Yep.
And then for that hose,
This is the lower hose right here.
yeah, so just pull this end off.
And that's probably gonna shoot some coolant out, so I'd recommend bringing the bucket over well for that.
So I'm gonna take the top off the radiator, let it completely drain, and then we'll show you how to take off the hoses.
Okay guys, it's draining down there still, so you'll hear that pissing sound.
So I was gonna show you this top hose. As you can see, around all these like open like connections, it's starting to bulge, and it's really
gummy,
soft and rubbery. I'm not sure if this is the original hose, but it could be, and it needs to be replaced. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is show you how to use these, like undo these OEM clamps. And whenever you replace any hose on your car, you always want to use the OEM style clamp. If you use a hose clamp like the the like turnstile hose clamp,
Yeah, the one
you're gonna have problems. Do not use those. Use the OEM style like this. I know they might be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but they're actually not that hard. So you just line it up, pull it as hard as you can, and then wiggle it off like that.
And that's a whole lot easier than a hose.
Yeah, we're gonna do that on both sides. And then
screwdriver
should just kind of twist off because these are pretty shitty hoses.
And this might splooge out a little bit of coolant, but
yeah,
not too much. Okay, guys, Cameron just popped it off, and it is pretty grody in there. Show them the inside of the hose, all that gunk, and look at the top of the radiator.
It literally is just disintegrating.
Yes.
And this is why you never put water in your radiator just alone. As you can see, it's actually starting to get that like rust brown color, which is very,
like the
very
inside
bad.
Of the radiator.
It's very, 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 very bad. You never want to use just straight water, even if you're in a state like California. Always use antifreeze coolant, like whatever the proper coolant is for your vehicle. Do not use just water.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be replacing this. Remember, guys, keep those clamps for the new hoses.
But you can just toss the old hose.
Toss the old hose.
This old radiator is definitely going in the trash because, man, it is gnarly.
Yeah, and then as you can see, there's like a couple connectors here. So that's probably going to be taken off next because the fan actually comes out with the radiator. So make sure there's no major connections or anything. And then you can undo these top clamps. And I think there's a couple of screws on the bottom. And the whole thing just kind of lifts out.
Yeah, no taking off the bumper here.
So we'll show you in a minute how to do all that. But I'm going to undo the bottom hose. It's the same as the top hose, just on the bottom. Looks the same thickness. So we'll come back.
Okay, guys, Cameron is working on disconnecting. There's little intake pipe over there on the fuse box that you have to take off. I'm assuming it cools the fuse box. But also, he took off the low radiator hose, and I showed you the bottom earlier. Now there's no hose, and the top of it is on like the side of the engine. And these are 10 millimeters. These two brackets that like hold in the top of the radiator. And you don't have to take these off right away. These bolts holding the fans to the radiator, because they come out together, Cameron said, and then we're going to basically swap the fans onto the radiator when the radiator is out. And then also he did these two little electrical connectors. He undid these two over here. And so yeah, we have had the coolant draining the whole time. Spilling a little bit now.
Oh, it looks like it's just those two clips on the top.
Oh, okay.
That's all it's holding it in. So, actually, if you want to come over on this side of me and hold this so it doesn't fall and break something.
You're going to have to disconnect this. Or what is this? Where does it go?
No, it just goes to the reservoir.
Okay, so this is just to the reservoir.
There's just one more electrical clip on the bottom side of this fan that I'm going to take off real quick. And then this whole, take off this, and the whole thing will lift out.
Okay, guys, he just took off that other bracket, and Cameron's going to attempt to yank out the radiator here. Might be a little game of watch the edges as it comes out and moving stuff out of the way.
Yeah, the video I watched on how to do this, the guy actually did it blindfolded. And he actually broke the fan strap on his. Yeah, this one definitely needs to be changed.
So as you can see, it's all out. That front piece, that's the AC condenser. So if you think, oh, that's the radiator, no, it's not. And now that gives you really easy access to the belt.
Yeah, if I had a belt, I'd actually probably replace it right now, but I don't, so I won't.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next step is we're going to be removing these fans, because those actually have to go on the new one. And I believe this connector down here has to be unscrewed and put in the new radiator.
Yes, and then also the reservoir tank is all attached to that. So.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. It's just
these are all 10s?
Little just 10s around the side. And then just like use a wrench to get that little plastic connector out, and it comes right off. So we'll come back when it's all off, and we'll tell you how many bolts it is. Okay, guys, Cameron just transferred this sensor over to the new radiator with a 19mm wrench, and then this is the fans. Came off with 10mm bolts. There's 6 of them. We were missing one, but you just zip them off with the gun. So as you can see, this new radiator, we had to do a little modification. So this is Cameron believes this is for an automatic transmission car, and it has these two metal like bungs, these ports that would use for like a transmission cooler that would like run coolant through an additional cooler. But we don't really have anything to fix that. There were little caps on there, but they were like super small. So we decided to just get a piece of coolant hoses, like coolant overflow hose,
and then run it to itself, and this should work. So yeah, if you have a manual, make sure you're buying. Apparently, there's a manual radiator and an automatic radiator.
Yeah.
So yeah, this should work because there's nothing down there that this will like catch on or anything. So it should be able to clear. Yeah. So he just used some hose clamps. So he's just gonna put this on, and then we're gonna be sliding that back in. Okay, guys, Cameron just threw in the radiator. Basically, reverse the process like we did earlier.
And just to let you guys know, there are two little rubber holes in the bottom that these pins go into, which I did not realize, so that I had to readjust the radiator. And then just that's kind of what locks it in with these two top clips. Now
he also did the electrical connectors.
Yeah, so there's two connectors up here, this hose, and then one connector on the bottom. So now that all the electrical is hooked up and these are, securing the radiator down, next step is the hose. So as you can see, the hose just goes on like this.
It's a little too long.
A little too long, so we're just going to go ahead and trim off probably like about 1.5 inches.
Maybe 2 inches, but yeah.
Something like that.
That's the upper hose. He bought the correct lower hose. We already checked.
This is the correct upper hose. It's the same pattern. It's just one side is just a little too long.
Yeah, so it's like the same kink in it. So we're going to cut that with probably a razor blade.
And remember, guys, to put the hose clamps on, and then put the hose on, and then you can seat the hose clamps back on.
Yeah, and then once you throw on both of those hoses, then you can get to throwing the coolant in, and that's what we're going to show you next.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Cameron just got everything settled with the radiator hoses. It took him a little bit to do the lower one. It's kind of a tough one to put back on, but he is now going to, he's mixing up the coolant 50-50, so he's pouring half coolant into the empty jug, and then that way the coolant jug that already had coolant in it is half full of coolant, and then he's going to fill the rest of the way, both of them with water. So yeah, he set up the little like funnel holder here, so it just came with a bunch of different ones for different radiators, and just found the one that fit in here, and you set it up here. So he's going to mix the coolant, and then so he's going to fill this with water, and then we're going to get the coolant funnel over here and set it up to start filling. That's what it looks like. And then there's like a stopper thing over there. But yeah. So he's gonna mix that up and we're gonna start filling. Okay, guys, Cameron is filling up the radiator now. So you're gonna want to use the stopper throughout the process if you don't want like any more coolant to go in there and stuff. So you kind of just fill it up, like as much as it'll go, and then the radiator will basically burp itself and air bubbles will come out and stuff. And once that's kind of done burping itself, then you're going to want to run the car, get in the car, lower the car down, and then fill it up again. And basically you're just going to do that process repeatedly until it stops burping, so you guys can see it's kind of like air bubbles are coming out. That's why it's doing that. So yeah, it should be about the 2 gallons, maybe a little less for this application. Yeah, is that leaking down there, our hose thing?
Well, it should be okay.
Okay. So as you can see, it just... Okay, guys, Cameron just lowered the car down. The thing stopped burping by itself, so we just got some coolant still in the funnel, and he's going to turn the car on to let it run. Hopefully this doesn't do anything weird. So, as you guys can see, it's now burping because of the coolant. Well, we might actually have to let the car warm up quite a bit. But it'll burp a little bit. You have to let the car warm up quite a bit because the thermostat has to open. And then yeah, the water pump will open. So basically we just have to let this run for a minute and build some temperature. It's already burping a little bit.
So yeah, check everything and make sure nothing's like leaking, or make sure that cross hose is still intact.
And also just make sure the car doesn't overheat randomly, like not getting any coolant.
But other than that, it's finished. We just make sure it's all topped off and it stops burping. Once it's finished burping and everything, we're gonna fill this reservoir tank up a little bit to the fill on, and then it should be good. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. We have another video on this on when I first got it. Other than that, everything looks good. We'll see you in the next one.